Here's how to make a massive panorama out in the field. So as you can see, I'm literally surrounded by snow here. Check this out. You can see that the sun is setting. I got about 20 minutes before the sun actually drops, and then we go into the blue hour. So the timing is critical. Tonight I'm using the 1DX Mark III and a Canon 300 2.8 lens. Now, if you don't have a long lens, it's totally fine, because what I'm about to teach you applies to any lens that you use. So with that said, let's get this dialed in. So one of the first things, especially if you're using a long lens like the 300 or even a 70 to 200, I'd recommend, if it has a tripod ring, that you put the camera mount, you put the tripod mount on the long lens itself instead of the body, so it's less stress on the, where the camera attaches to the lens, and that way you just have more stability. So that's rule number one. I'm going to be using a slower shutter speed because I'm going to be shooting at like f6 or like f8, because I really want everything in focus. I want a tack sharp image, so that's number 2. 3, I'm going to drop my ISO pretty low. So on the 1DX3, like ISO low is just 50 is typically the best that I try to shoot for, because it has the most dynamic range, and I know that I can really expose or underexpose and boost its shadows if I need to. So shoot at a clean ISO, based on whatever camera it is that you're using. That's 3. So number 4, don't keep your camera on high-speed burst like I do, so make sure you take that off. And then for most of the time, I'm going to be shooting this in manual mode, because I don't want to have to keep adjusting the focus every time I move the camera, and that'll make sense in a second. So right now, here, let me switch. So right now I'm adjusting the white balance. See how as you go down in Kelvins, 3400, 3300, it gets colder, and then as I move up, it's going to get warmer. So I kind of want a warmer image, because you can still see in the background that the sun, or that the color in the sky is still pretty warm. And so I'm going to change that. I'm going to dial this into 5700 Kelvin, which will just allow me to have a warmer shot. So I am shooting in RAW, but the thing is, like, if you set the Kelvin, if you set the white balance, then you're not going to have to worry about that inconsistency when you're in post-production. So I'm going to take this image, and then what I'm going to do composition-wise is I'm just going to move the camera to the left, and so that I get more of the, you can see like the background, that the mountains are in the background, and so I'm just going to gradually pan across until I reach my end mark. And so, like, the big thing, so number 4, set your end point. So if you're going to shoot from left to right or right to left, make sure you know where you're going. And so in this case, I'm going to go from right to left, and once I get to my end point, I'll show you what we do next. And one of the key things about this is you want to make sure that your horizon line is level throughout the image. Obviously you can correct that in post-production, but just keeping that is just going to save you time, and you just keep moving and moving. And the reason why you're doing this, like, in theory you could shoot at a wider lens and then just capture the whole thing, but the point of shooting, if you're shooting on a long lens and you want a telephoto, that compression, so to speak, that's why I'm shooting in segments, so that I still get that compression look, but in a very wide panoramic landscape. If you're shooting a lot of images, what I'll typically do is I'll put my hand in front of the lens so I know where the panoramic starts. And so after that, I'll take another image. Not that one. Let's get the camera right here. So I'll take another image, it exposed, and now I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna move it, and I'm gonna go again, same thing. It's on a 2-second shutter, or a 2-second timer, and then I'm just gonna keep moving it, keeping that horizon level straight. I'm gonna keep going. You can see that the blue hour is starting to settle in. It's about 10 minutes until the sun sets, but you can start to see that really soft purple haze light that's just so beautiful. And so I'm gonna keep going. Woo, there's some light. So in order to get more of the sky, what I can do is pan up and get, do the same thing. So I'm gonna go back from right to left and finish where I started, if that makes sense. So here, check this out. This is my last shot. Now I'm gonna pan up. And the thing is, I'm gonna still keep that mountain in the bottom kind of third, but now I'm just gonna go back across. And this will allow me to capture more of the sky, because it's just so beautiful right now. I mean, the colors are really just starting to settle in. Settings have pretty much stayed the same. I mean, my shutter speed dropped just because the colors or the light's fading fast, but I'm at f5. Shutter speed's at 200, but I mean, you can look at that, it's tack sharp. So, and that's why I use manual focus, is because there's no inconsistency when it comes to your focus. It's always dialed in. You don't have to touch it. You set it and kind of forget it. And then I'm just locking it off every time I move it, just so I make sure that my camera is set. And so there was the start of my pano. Just want to make sure you can see I'm going to go up. And I'm just going to do one more for safety here, just to make sure that I got it. And now I'm going to close it off with putting my can in front of it, so I know that's where it ends. You can do the same thing with a 24 or a 35, a 50, a 24 to 70, whatever lens that you have. You can still use the same technique to build massive panoramas. And then once you bring it into Lightroom, super easy. All I have to do is select the images you want, and then right click and then merge to panorama, and it does it for you. It's literally like magic. It's insane. Wrapping up in the field here. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope this helped you. And if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Roger out.